Welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I am your host and I'm thrilled to be here. I hope you guys are having a nice day. May is quite the roller coaster of a month. Lots of ups and downs, some pretty crazy energy afoot. So I know that some of you have been feeling it pretty heavily. According to the 1-2 weather report, this really should be a better week. So I hope that it is for you. A little easier, lighter week. I think that we're definitely ready for it. We definitely deserve it. So let's have it. I want to let you know that I'm over in the chat room, and you can find the chat room over at 12radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat room. I am also in doing Facebook Live from that chat room. So it is a private group. If you've never joined before, you'll definitely want to ask for entry. And my talented producer, Christy's standing by, and she'll gladly let you in the room, but that's how to find us. So here we are. And again, the Facebook Live is also posted later on over on my YouTube channel. So later after I download it and upload it, lots of loading happening. You can find it over at Domestic Mystic on YouTube as well. So if you're listening to an archive and you'd like to watch it that way, now you know. That's the way to do it. So, gosh, you guys, how are things? I would definitely like to get to some readings today. So if you are in my chat room and you would like a reading, a healing, need some help with something, go ahead and throw your requests up in there. Try to put them in under my banner there in the chat room, not in the Facebook Live. The Facebook Live just, sometimes I never see something until the show is over. And then I hate missing stuff. So it's better for you and me if you put it in the chat under my banner rather than in the Facebook Live. If you have a question, if you're just making a comment, then comment away. But if you have a question that you need me to see, you definitely want to put it there. So that's what's going on. So I did finish teaching the Ethereal Alchemy series on Sunday, and it was so good. It was just such a good group, and I made MP3s and videos of both of those classes. So the really fun thing now is if you didn't take it and you still would like to, you still can, which I think is a really fun part of being able to archive stuff and hang on to it so that we can continue to use it and benefit from it. So if you wanted to take Ethereal Alchemy, or it just wasn't the, wasn't the right time for you, if you just go to when2listen.com and go into my email readings, you can find them, both of them. And so there's Ethereal Alchemy Part 1, that you definitely want to do first, and then there's Ethereal Alchemy Part 2. So the way it works is you just purchase the email reading, and then I get a notification that you purchased it, and then I'll send you over links for both of them, for the video and for the MP3. So that's the way it works, pretty easy, and I like it that way, I really do, because first of all, oh, I think I bumped my mute. Sorry, guys. Here we are. I had my hand down by my mute button. I must have nailed it. Sorry, guys. At any rate, that is the way you pick up the Ethereal Alchemy classes now. I like it this way. I like live students too, but I like it this way also because you'll have these to hold on to, and you can take the class more than one time if that's something that would benefit you. So I'm also putting links up in the chat room for you guys. But at any rate, if you want to take it, or if you want to just take class 1 and dip your toe in and see how much interest you have, that would be the way to do it. So there you go. I'm just jumping into the chat room to say hello. Facebook's doing something weird. My chat used to just update itself, and it's not doing that anymore. I don't know if it's me or if it's Facebook. It's probably not personal. Maybe it's just my laptop. We'll see. Some big doings happening in my life. Oh, I want to say hello to Eva. Hi, Jan. Hi, Kai. Hi, Alishaya, Liliana, Quelly, Deborah, Greg. I'll never get to everyone throughout the show, but hi to you guys. Laura, glad to see you guys all here. It's nice to see you. Always good to be here together. So my son is graduating from high school next week. And so we have all of this graduation stuff going on, things that I've never done before. So we've been in kind of uncharted territory. So we mailed out his announcements last week, which was kind of fun. It was fun to get his announcements here, the excitement of it. And he's been really enthusiastic and helped with a lot of that. And so all of those have gone out. We're having a luncheon in his honor on Sunday afternoon. And so I've been working on the logistics of that. And yesterday I went to the store and bought things like all the corny stuff. I bought the tablecloths, the placemat, or not placemats. What year is this? I bought the tablecloths, the graduation ones, all the swag, silly. But I guess we wanted it. But anyway, plates, napkins, a giant button for him to wear, because it's as if no one will know that he's the graduate, right? But anyway, it's crazy. So I've been fine with all of that. And then today we got a letter from the high school just detailing out the itinerary for the next 2 weeks of all of the things happening. And that brought me to tears. How silly is that? Nothing else so far. I've been really, really solid. And I really am, actually. I'm really okay. I can see very much in him how ready he is and how prepared he is to head out into the world, and how it's really time. And it's all good. But anyway, I don't know what it was about getting that letter in the mail and opening it up and reading about the graduation practice and caps and gowns and blah, blah, blah. That's the thing that made me cry. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just an emotional weirdo right now. I probably am. Oh God, graduation. Can you wear sunglasses indoors and be okay? Probably, right? Yeah, I'll probably do that. You guys that are empaths like me, and I know lots of you are, you can, I know, relate to this, that I become, in any kind of an emotional setting, the community crier, right? And so I have been a big fan of sunglasses over the years, because I will cry when no one else is crying. There's no need to be crying, but I will be the crier. An example, a couple of weeks ago at softball, last week, it was senior night. Well, I don't have a senior, and this is our first year on the varsity team. I don't know these girls very well, and yet I blubbered all the way through senior night, listening to the letters that they wrote to their parents, to the coaches, just seeing the emotion from their parents, knowing this was their last home game. And, I'm there in my sunglasses, but, just welling up and thinking, oh, anyway, it has been a theme for me for a long time. I have been known to cry at ball games, at kids' plays, band concerts, pretty much everything in between. So anyway, I'm the crazy mom that will cry at the football game when everyone else is cheering. So anyway, I've just been thinking about graduation, and there's 350 kids graduating, and it's a giant auditorium full of people, and all of the energy and emotion in there. It's going to take some really good energy work, a talisman or 3, and some good crystals in my pocket, and maybe just break out the sunglasses, or maybe just keep them on my head just in case, right? Because honestly, there's nothing wrong with crying in public, but I don't like it. I don't know. You tell me. Do you do that? I would love to hear from you guys if you do that. Do you do that? Is that something that's a theme for you? If it's not, it's okay. But if you do that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I remember actually as a very young adult, when my great-grandpa died, and he was very old. He had been bedbound for about 5 years before he died, and he was ornery as hell his whole life. It wasn't a particularly sad day, and I cried through his funeral like my best friend had died, and everybody was like, what the hell? It's really okay. And I'm like, I know it's okay. But I was processing through, and I didn't know. But I was processing through a lot of other people's stuff. And I didn't know that then. I was too young to know that, or, wasn't on my path far enough to know that. But I hated it. I hated that I was crying like that, but I had no control over it. So anyway, so Laura says that her daughter is graduating from vet school in a few weeks. Laura, I know your daughter is amazing. And I know that you have supported her through this in such a awesome way, and such a trying to be supportive without, leaning in too hard kind of way. I know you've been very mindful and you've been amazing. So she wants to know, what crystals will you bring? I need some suggestions too. Well, clearly a powerhouse for grounding, right? Because just being in that space is, where they do our graduation is at a local college, a religious college, and there's a lot of rules, like the way you're supposed to be dressed. I don't know if I'm going to have trouble over my nose ring. I might. I mean, you're not allowed to wear flip-flops. You're not allowed to wear shorts. You're not allowed to have your shoulders exposed. It's very strict stuff. And you have to, as guests, you have to follow that, or you're not allowed in. Why? Yeah, it shouldn't be that way. I get it totally, but that's how it is here. And to have a big enough venue to do graduation, we play by the rules. So anyway, I'm a little worried that I'll have some trouble over my nose ring. I'm hoping I can get it out if I need to, but and I will be careful not to have exposed tattoos as well. Anyway, and so already that place kind of sets my teeth on edge and makes me nervous. So definitely a stone for grounding for that. I'm thinking probably something for the heart, like maybe, I don't even think of rose quartz. I was thinking more something green, like maybe a green calcite. And then something probably to keep my crown chakra in check. So maybe just a good clear quartz, maybe a piece of apophyllite. We'll see. Honestly, it'll probably be at the last minute. I just grab the things that feel right, and that's what I'll grab. Oh, actually, no, I'm actually hearing that I need to take a red phantom. Okay, so a red phantom, which is a clear quartz that has the red phantom inside of it. I don't have one in front of me to show you, but I will show you at some point. But the red phantom is really protective, and I'll probably wear, I have the Star of David pendant that you wear open if you want to have your energy open, or you turn it over and wear it closed if you want to close yourself down, and I'll probably do that too. Yeah, it's just uncomfortable. It's okay. It's not about me. It's about him. So I'll very quietly take care of me so that I can let it be about him, right? Right. Okay. Neurotic moms, you guys. Neurotic moms. That's right. She said, so your bra will be stuffed with crystals. Yeah, that's probably right. And probably a purse full of essential oils too. Definitely a purse full of essential oils. I'm thinking rosewood and peppermint, and we'll see. Okay. I know. All right. So I'm going to say Jan cries out of nowhere too. So thank you, Jan. I'm glad that I'm not alone. She said a funeral of a family friend came to mind the other day. I was 8 maybe, and I sobbed through the wake and the funeral. I even remember thinking then, why the heck am I sobbing? I then remembered very clearly watching her daughter, who was only a few years older, not crying and wondering how she could keep it together. Jan said, apparently because I was her fountain. Yep, I'll bet you were. Oh, Elizabeth is a community crier too. You know, in early childhood, that's what we call them. The little ones who cry when someone else cries. Oh, good. Eva does it too. Oh, my sisters. Okay. A bunch of crying weirdos together. Good. I love it. Yeah, in early childhood when we have criers, because some babies and toddlers will cry if someone else is crying. There's nothing actually wrong with them. They just, so then you have to decide, are they mimicking, or is it just hurting their feelings that somebody else has got a problem? Anyway, I've had many, not many, but some very special, very sensitive children in my care over the years that are like that. And we call them a community crier. So maybe that's what we are too. But But apparently that starts very young. Yeah. Seriously, why do I bother with makeup? Commercials, visits with friends, whatever. It could be anything. It could be an email. But speaking of things that are blowing me up right now with pride, okay. Idaho has done something so unprecedented. So our primaries were yesterday. And understand that in Idaho, a lot of times our primaries are the whole race. Because especially locally, like in my little community, there's frequently not a Democrat running. It's all Republicans. And so, remember, I live in the reddest county per capita in this country, in all of these great United States. The reddest county per capita, right? And Idaho is red as hell also. So anyway, so around here, a lot of times the primaries, they're the whole race. And whoever wins the primaries, they win. That's just how it goes. All right. So anyway, but for governor, we're actually up for governor this year, which is awesome because our governor, we were ready for a new governor. And it's really cool because what happened is that there were about 5 people running on the Republican ticket, I think, and 3 or 4 major contenders running on the Democratic ticket. And we haven't had a Democrat for a governor in about 20 years, I think-ish. Anyway, the Tea Party has kind of taken over our state. So anyway, here's what happened. There was a woman running for governor. She's from northern Idaho. She has been a legislator in Idaho. Her name is Paulette Jordan. She is Native American. And she was running on the Democratic ticket. And a lot of people really didn't think she could win because she's Native American, because she's whatever. I don't know. I think she's amazing. I've absolutely loved her message. She is a very new energy type person. You can see it in her face. Her face has that light, that glow, and she is all about compassion and taking care of all of her constituents and basically all of the things that I would value in a legislator. Anyway, so she was really the underdog coming into the gubernatorial Democratic primary yesterday, and she won, which is huge. It's huge because if she were to win, and the chips are stacked against her, obviously, but it could happen. I mean, she's got her work cut out for her, but it could happen. But anyway, if she were to win, she would be the first female governor of Idaho ever. If she were to win, she'd also be the first Native American governor ever in the United States. It's humongous. It's huge. And Idaho did it. And we suck. So we don't suck. But as far as our politics and our progression, we have sucked a lot. So anyway, it's just really exciting. But the other pretty cool thing that happened is that women, out of 16 races, women won 8 of them. So no matter what happens in November, we will have a female lieutenant governor for the first time. We will have a female superintendent of schools state superintendent, and a female treasurer. So, wow. We run this, mother girls. Yeah. It's so exciting. It's just very, very cool. This is a wonderful place. It is. It's a wonderful place. And we live in a place that could do better. A lot better. So anyway, I'm just exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited. I stayed up till like 1 o'clock this morning watching the election, the numbers roll in, and it's pretty cool. But the other thing that happened that to me is exciting is that we also kicked the Tea Party out of our state for the most part. Most of the Freedom Foundation and the Tea Partiers that were running lost. I think a big message was sent that we're ready to be a little more inclusive. We're ready to, I don't know, maybe progress. So, woohoo, Idaho. So that's all. That's all I have to say about that. All right. So here's the deal, guys. We've got things to talk about. Again, I am going to do readings out of the chat today. So if you have anything you need help with, throw it up there. I would love to give you guys a reading. So let's take a look for a minute here at Luminous, at the magazine. You guys know that I publish a magazine every Monday. It is a compilation of work from me and a bunch of my colleagues over at whentolisten.com. I work with a bunch of astoundingly talented people, and they are kind enough to share their wisdom with us. So I always like to introduce that to you and make sure that you've seen it and know what's up. So if you want to see the magazine, just head over to katie-weaver.com and click on the Katie's Magazine button and you'll get taken there. I'm going to put a link in the chat room too. And you can always subscribe. There's a subscribe button right there on my homepage. And if you subscribe to it, then I'll send it to you or a link to it every Monday. So easy enough. Alrighty, so let's take a look. So of course there's a little note from me. Oh, by the way, I hope you guys had a nice Mother's Day. I kind of glossed clear over Mother's Day. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I'm sure how that happened. You're probably tired of hearing this from various people, but Mother's Day is not my jam. I have awesome kids and I have a great husband and they're wonderful to me, and I don't mean to seem ungrateful. But frankly, when you've lost your mom and your grandmas, Mother's Day just kind of blows. So we had a nice time. Here's what actually happened. You guys would have laughed, I think, to see this, but we had an Italian feast at Kara's house. It was my suggestion to have an Italian feast, and then I brought 2 Greek dishes. I don't apparently follow anyone's directions, including my own. But anyway, but Scott did all the cooking, and he did a fabulous job. But anyway, after we ate, the men went to watch golf. The kids all scattered in various directions to play on their phones or play Xbox or do whatever. And Christy and Kara and Rhonda and I sat at the table and drank a lot. Like, I hardly ever drink. And we drank, drank, and played a game. It's like an adult version of Heads Up, like the Ellen Heads Up game. We sat at the table and drank and laughed for like 3 hours. And eventually, occasionally somebody would step in and join our game for a few minutes and then they would leave. But it was like, that just seemed to be what we needed. We just needed something really fun, really lighthearted, really easy. And apparently we needed an entire bottle of peach schnapps too, because that's what we had. Great energy to be in as you get a lot done today. Don't be afraid to make a few changes in your household and at work. You will have a lot of clarity today about things that are working and things that are not. Interesting. Funny, because I woke up this morning thinking I have to get new tires on my car. I have to get this figured out today. I have to find someone who has them. Somehow I've managed to have a car that has a weird size that, you know, not everyone ever has, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I guess that's where it's at for me, making that change in my life, saying, I have to have new tires on this car before anyone else is allowed to drive it. Thursday. This is a good warning. This is not the day to oversleep. You may find yourself feeling like you are running behind all day. Time is just moving too quickly. Prioritize well and be willing to cut a few things loose if you have too much on your plate. Also, don't forget to ask for help when you need it. All right, all of you procrastinators out there, I'm mostly talking to myself. Don't oversleep on Thursday. You will screw yourself over for the whole day. But if you do oversleep on Thursday, maybe just cut everything loose and stay in bed. I don't know. Yeah, right. Like we ever do that, right? Maybe once in a blue moon, but not very often. And it's not a blue moon, so you don't get to. But all right, Friday. Take good care of your heart today. You may feel like your heart is bursting with gratitude and joy for your loved ones. You may also have a bit of melancholy in your heart for those you have lost. This is a great day to reminisce and express that love and gratitude to those that you are feeling. Funny, because last Thursday was one of those days too. It was a grief day. And sometimes those days come up. The crazy thing about it is that on Thursday, it was the second day of softball districts. And of course, you know, I've talked about this quite a bit, but my freshman daughter had been pulled up to play on the varsity team, which is a big honor. She was the only freshman that was, and she played too. She didn't sit the bench. She played. She fielded some. She batted the entire time. They DP'd her, so she was the flex batter, and she did an awesome job on some really fast pitchers, some of the best pitchers in the state. So very proud of that. But anyway, she woke up Thursday morning very nervous about districts, but she woke up sobbing and came into the kitchen sobbing and said that she was so sad that her grandma and grandpa, my parents, wouldn't be there that day to get to see her play at districts. And that made me cry. And then I talked to my sisters and discovered that they'd been crying, that everyone was having a grief day. And then I went to post the 1-2 weather report for the day, and that's what it said. And I went, oh, got it. Got it. Okay. So it was a grief day. So unfortunately, Friday feels like a bit of a grief day too. I hope it's not as intense as it was last Thursday. I think it won't be. But anyway, if it is, let's do some mediumship. And if it is, let's talk to them. But also, let's find some other ways to reminisce and celebrate them rather than just feel bitter and sad. All right, Saturday. Saturday's awesome. This is a fantastic time to be generous. When you share what you have, you easily attract more back to you. Tip more than expected, gift generously, and look for ways to care for and nurture those around you. You will feel amazing about being someone who helps. I loved this because how often do you just kind of think, you know what, I'm going to put an extra $10 on that tip, or, you know what, it's her birthday and this doesn't come along very often, I'm going to do something unprecedented, or, you know, just whatever it is. We don't always get big opportunities, and honestly, we can't always afford to, but in some way on Saturday, allow yourself to be generous. Maybe you're being generous with your time, you know, maybe you're being generous with your attention, but it's a day that you are going to feel like being generous and giving up a little more than you normally would. And I love days like that. I think that's pretty awesome. All right, Sunday. You may find yourself feeling unsettled today. The earth is feeling unsettled. She may even be shaking. That is leaving you feeling ungrounded and maybe even a bit fearful. It would be good for you to spend some time in nature today, connecting to earth and to water to help you get grounded and centered. Yeah, Sunday's one of those days. You ever wake up feeling like something's wrong, but you're not quite sure what is wrong? That's basically where Sunday's at. So soothe your heart with knowing that you're truly okay and that you'll be fine and that you have some tools at your disposal. So you may want to, you know, get yourself outside. Seems like that's what's going to be called for. All right, so that's the 1-2 weather report for the week. And again, you can find it as a daily reading, actually in 3 places. On my Facebook page, which is Katie Weaver, Domestic Mystic. On my fan page, on my Instagram page, which is Domestic Mystic. Or over on Twitter, which is Katie Brower Weaver. So we can connect any or all of those ways. Alrighty, my reading special for May, so that you know, it is my 15-minute TBS. I've talked about this reading a ton. I love this reading. It's my favorite because when you buy a 15-minute time-based service, first of all, that means it's always on sale. So no matter what day it is or if we're on sale on the lines, it's always on sale. So I'm all about a good deal, and I love you guys getting a good deal. So I love that. But I also love knowing how much time we have. Having that block of time, I feel like we get more accomplished because we know what we have to work with, both of us. So anyway, there you go. So I posted it in the chat room, but you can find it over on my, over at 12listen.com in my time-based services. Alrighty. And then, of course, Christy always does a reading for us. She brings us the stone of the week and the kindred spirit oracle card of the week. So the stone this week is tiger iron. Tiger iron is really cool. It's like tiger's eye, but it actually has a a metallic mix in it, and it's a neat stone. People who haven't worked with metals before or are nervous about working with metals, I think tiger iron's a really good one because it just feels like a safe stone. It brings a sense of safety, calms fear, and boosts confidence. There you go. Perfect, right? All right, and then the card that she pulled for us from her oracle deck is a brand new card to this deck, and it is the Fear card. So the Fear card is, the primary message is barriers, destruction, sabotage, spinning your wheels, and disappointment. So those are the things that you may be coming up against. The challenge is getting discouraged, pushing for an outcome, and impatience, because we all know sometimes when you do that, something stupid happens. It's not what you want a lot of times, right? The crystal to carry is tiger iron. The meditation to the universe, please guide me. Sorry, I might need glasses. Please guide me to allow change direction, and see a way for change to happen. So that is the Kindred Spirit card. Helena, I'm so happy to see you here. I was actually just talking about graduation and how weird it's got me feeling, and I'll bet you do too. I'll see you there. We'll probably both be in sunglasses. Yeah, because she's got not one, but two graduating. Crazy. How can we be this old? How can our kids be this old? All right, then we have our weekly wisdom from Jamie. Jamie talking about her dog crossing the Rainbow Bridge, her old dog, and the impact he's had on her family. A little memorial for him there that I thought was very sweet, along with lots of other good information. An ode to moms from Kelly that will definitely make you smile and make you think. The tip of the week is my essential oil blend for pain. This is one of my favorite blends ever. I have shared it with you guys before, but you know I'm a master of pain because I have rheumatoid arthritis. And so, dude, I know pain. And so here's one of my favorites. This is one of my absolute favorite blends for pain. 10 drops each of lemongrass, marjoram, and frankincense essential oils. You just put it in one of the little 5 ml bottles, the little roller bottles. And you can get roller bottles. You can get them on Etsy. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at aromatools.com. If you do essential oils, you just order 10 and have them in the cupboard so that when you want to make a blend for yourself or someone else, you just always have some available. So 10 drops each of marjoram, lemongrass, and frankincense. Top it off with liquid coconut oil. And boom, there's your roll-on. And roll it on to aches and pains. It's awesome for my little softball daughter who has arthritis in her shoulder and elbow. I keep her in stock of that, and she keeps it on her shoulder and her elbow all the time, and it makes a huge difference for her. But for aches and pains in general, that is absolutely my favorite blend. Yeah. Elena says, I cry almost every day thinking about it. I know. When the letter from the high school came today, I cried like a fool. I'm sorry, guys. I know this is where my thought process is going to be for a couple of weeks. I can tell. And then you're going to have to deal with me when he leaves for college. Yeah, because that's happening too. Not until July, though. I have one more month to hover and irritate. So, you know, there's that. All right, a very sweet article from Brittany about mothers. Always, my videos, I always put in the newsletter. And then Kai, I really wanted to call your attention to Kai because Kai has an article this week called Natural World Empaths. And she's talking about being an empath that feels things in the world, which is really powerful. But she's also talking about her class that's coming up for Natural World Empaths. So if you are somebody who feels like you are affected, that your physical, emotional, or spiritual body, or all, are affected by things like natural disasters, the weather, animals, plants, crystals, magnetic shifts, barometric shifts, solar flares, that's a biggie, all of those things, then that you are then a natural world empath. And when you are that affected by the world, you can use the world to help you to heal yourself and others and work through it in using it as a gift rather than a curse. And so she's got a beautiful article here about it, but she also is teaching a class about it that I hope that you guys will take a look at. So make sure that you check out her article if that is something that affects you, which it very well could be. It sure is for me. Oh my goodness. All right. And then a fun article from Elizabeth about connecting to the earth, which I hope you guys are getting some time outside. It's sure been gorgeous. Well, on and off. We're getting rain and thunderstorms and weird weather and then moments of absolute beauty around here. And then Anita brings us Blessed Mother Mary this week as our master. So, of course, she's known as the mother of the Messiah, but she's also known as the mother in every sense. Many people, even non-religious people, really connect to the energy of Mother Mary. And I love this article because I do too. And I don't consider myself to be religious in any way, but somehow Mother Mary speaks to me. So I think that's the song. Yeah. Comes to me, right? Okay. Anyway, that is the magazine for the week. So again, if you would like to read the whole magazine, head over to katie-weaver.com and you'll see it right there. All righty, guys. Let's jump back into the chat room. Wanted to get to some readings today. Let me refresh here. Yeah, Facebook's just been weird. I don't know about you guys. You can tell me. Okay. Got to keep the coffee going today. I have to tell you, our little pig has gotten bored. So, like, the older she gets, the more rambunctious she gets. Guys, she is like having a toddler in the house. She is into something all the time. But I tricked her this morning into eating a piece of celery, which I just thought was funny because she has certain things she really loves. Like, she loves cucumbers like nobody's business. But you give her a piece of celery and she'll act like you're trying to kill her. Sound like a toddler yet? So this morning I was making a peanut butter sandwich for somebody's lunch, and I just took the knife and swiped the rest of the peanut butter off on a piece of celery that was sitting there from her little lunch dish from yesterday when she didn't eat her celery, and handed it to her because what she does now is she's discovered or finally figured out that the kitchen means food. So she comes in the kitchen and she bumps your feet and your legs with her snout every so often to make sure that you know she's still there. And it startles me because I don't want to get bit because, yeah, she does bite sometimes. And so it's become this thing that she bumps you constantly to make sure that you know that she's there. And so anyway, this morning she'd been bumping me in the kitchen and she'd already had her breakfast, but of course she's always wants to eat because she's, you know, a pig. And so I gave her this little piece of celery with some peanut butter on it. And of course she went crazy for it. She did eat the celery. So I felt in some way, I don't know why, thrilled, but I tricked her into eating celery. But she ended up with peanut butter all over her face. And I watched her using one of her back hooves and reaching up and peeling the peanut butter, wiping the peanut butter off of her face with her back hoof and then licking it off of her hoof. And it was the funniest thing. She's done a lot of funny things that I can't get to my camera fast enough to share it, but I'll tell you what, that was darling. Okay, Quelly says, may I have a reading concerning my husband accepting this head coaching job for football? Okay, I actually noticed that question in someone else's chat yesterday and had an opinion about it. But, you know, we don't step on each other's toes around here because that would be totally rude. So I'm glad you're asking that question because I had an opinion about it yesterday. He needs to do it. He needs to do it. And I know that there's some loyalty here for his friend. I know there's some kind of BS politics going on with the school district and perhaps with some of the parents in the district. But the kids need the continuity of knowing what to count on. And it actually is a good thing for your family. Here's the crazy thing, though. I feel like the head coach that's being ousted is going to get a job somewhere else. And a few years down the road, these two may actually end up coaching again. I know they're very close friends. I feel like they may actually end up coaching together again down the road in a different venue. But for now, it is the right thing for him to go ahead and take that job. I also have to tell you that I don't think that his friend is going to in any way be uncomfortable or unhappy about it. I feel like he'll be happy for him. I mean, he's hurt, I know, and I know that he's had some ridiculous treatment, and I know it sucks. I get that part totally, but he needs to go ahead and take it. So that was my hit on it yesterday. So again, I'm glad that you showed up with that question today because I wanted to share that with you. Do it. Do it. It's going to be okay. And again, do it. Learn everything you can from it. Grow from it because he's not going to be here forever. There's something better coming for both of them where they'll actually be able to be coaching on the same team again. So, but for now, boom, there it is. Okay, Liliana, taking a test on Friday to be accepted to IT school. Okay, Liliana, that feels actually really good. They're telling me more than one time. You may end up taking the test more than one time. They're saying, oh, got it. Okay, here's what they're saying. You may or may not take the test more than one time. I feel like you're actually very prepared. But they're saying that go into it with that attitude of, you know what, I have all the time I need and I can do this again if I need to, so that you are not stressing yourself out too much. But actually, it feels really good to me. So that would be a really good thing for you. I know that jobs have been really weird for you for a while and nothing has really stuck or landed the way it should. This feels really positive, so I'm happy to see that. All right, Laura could use a body scan and grounding. So much going on. Laura, you have an attachment in the back of your neck. It's not really your neck. It's kind of between your shoulder blades. I'm going to pull it. That's why you've been feeling so weird and not quite in your element. I'm going to just pull it, return it, and fix it. This is female. It comes from somebody that you are collaborating with in some way. She's not bad. It's not nefarious. It's just a competitive thing that I don't think was conscious in any way. So pulled, healed with love and returned, healed up for you. I'm just grounding you a little here. I see that so much going on. And you kind of falling into an old pattern. I want to warn you, and you know this, about doing too much for others. And it's not so much about you not doing things for yourself, but it's just about you doing too much for other people, sometimes that they could be doing for themselves. So maybe it's a time to revisit boundaries at home and just in yourself. And of course, take good care of you. Okay. Sandy said, I'd be grateful for a message about my career. My current job is too demanding and I want something better. Oh my goodness. It's almost like that message I just gave for Laura, Sandy, was halfway for you, right? Absolutely. Here's the problem with the job you have right now. The problem has become that those who are willing to work hard are just expected to work harder. Like it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't give you more money. It doesn't give you more recognition. But because you're willing to work hard, because you have displayed an ability to be responsible and to show up, they just lean heavier and heavier and heavier. But the appreciation completely lacks. And I agree, it's way too demanding. I feel like you're doing the job of easily two people. There is okay, that's probably a hopeless thing to say, but I feel like it would be very difficult to rehab this job into something that fits for you. I think that unfortunately the energy is set there and it's not bringing you something different at this point. So I'm totally with you. You got to do something else. So first step for you is definitely going to be an updated resume with a brand new plan. They're telling me to tell you to not be afraid to look outside of your area, to think bigger than where you live right now. That's not a total prediction that you will move. You may not, but they just want you to not limit yourself geographically. So start looking. Sandy, you may consider throwing your resume out to a headhunter to see what else is out there. But here's the great thing about this job. You have gotten some good experience, and I do think that they will say good things about you. They need too much, and they're being cheap about not having enough help, and that's just never going to work out. Not long term, at least not for you. Some people would stay there and take this for 20 freaking years and be miserable and burned out and exhausted, and their health would go to hell because they were just so overly stressed. But you're seeing the writing on the wall right now, then you know it's not going to work. September. So if you start looking right now, you start getting your resume out there, you start getting serious, I feel like there could be new placement, new job, a fresh start for you, September. All right, Cece wants to know what I could see for her coming up here in the next few weeks. Let's take a look. Okay. The first thing I actually felt was some anxiety in my stomach. So I wanted to ask what that's about. It's not about you getting sick. It's about you making a change. So I feel like what's coming up for you here in the next few weeks to the next few months, I'm going to go a little bit further than weeks, is an opportunity for you potentially to either move or start the ball rolling on moving in a more concrete way than you have up to this point. It feels to me, Cece, like you having to get a little more committed to your plan. I also feel like this has to do with making sure that you and your significant other are both on the same page and working on the same plan together. I feel like you have a powerful partnership going, and the two of you could be amazing manifestors. You know, yesterday was the new moon. It's not too late to get very serious together about what is it that we want, where are we going to go. I think a change of scenery is coming for you. And again, I don't know that that's actually coming in a few weeks, but I feel like the concrete plan moving forward and perhaps, the logistics of it are going to start rolling out in the next few weeks. The anxiety in my stomach, I believe, is your sometimes lack of trusting yourself. I also feel like this is someone else second guessing you, not your significant other, but a family member who doesn't quite understand or trust your need to follow your spirit. And that is bringing you some stress, maybe some internal negative self-talk. It's not a negative person per se. I feel like this is just someone who operates more from their head, and you tend to operate more from your heart, and you don't always understand each other. So, Cece, what can we do? We'll support you in any way we can, but in this one, you got to trust you, because you've been feeling uncomfortable in your skin. You've been knowing a change was coming or needed to come, and you're kind of getting thrown out of the nest right now, I think, into needing to make that happen. Okay, wowza. Melissa said, just hearing of the graduation march makes me weep. It triggers a lot of nostalgia. Yeah, right? Boy. All right. Moving forward. All right, Beth. Beth says, if time permits, would love any empowering message. She's been focusing on learning to work on self-love, and it is life-changing. It sure is, Beth. Okay, let's see. An empowering message. Not just a message, an empowering one. I love it. I love the way you ask that, frankly. All right, here we go. Okay, Beth, you're going to laugh so hard, but I am seeing your feet. They're talking about self-care of your feet. Is this a pedicure? Is it new shoes? Is it walking and using them? Is it just putting one foot in front of the other as you take steps forward in your life? I think it could be all of them, but I'm really laughing that I'm seeing your feet and talking about self-care. So I feel like that message goes a few different directions, but we're talking about empowering you. And so I will say this. I feel like for the next few weeks, the focus is your feet. Physical care of your feet, the emotional steps of moving forward in some way. They're telling me that you can be very shy about reaching out to others to make plans or to set something up with other people, and that you tend to wait for others to reach out to you, and they don't always, and that frequently you just kind of miss out on life or don't do the things that you'd like to do because you didn't really take the initiative to make an invitation. And so part of moving forward, putting one foot in front of the other right now for you, and a part of this self-love, self-care routine that you have going right now, is I'm challenging you here in the next week or two to reach out to friends or family or whoever for a movie, a coffee date, a meal, something, a wine and paint, or whatever, you decide, a concert, whatever. I could list 3,000 things, but that doesn't matter. It's up to you. But that's the challenge right now, is you plan this little social event. Invite who you want to have there. Make sure that you give enough notice so that people can come, and do that. That is part of stepping one step in front of the other, and recognizing that, yes, people want to spend time with you, because you sometimes discount that and get your feelings hurt when they don't have to be. So, Beth, I am excited. I can't wait to hear what you are going to do. Yep. Okay, one more quick jump back into the chat room here, guys. All right, so Quelly says, yep, it's the football coach situation is definitely out of loyalty and trying to figure out what to do. A couple of you are asking for the recipe for the oils, for the pain oils recipe. I'll put the postcard in the chat room so that you guys have it. Yep. Okay, Eva. Oh, Eva, really good question. She says, any recommendation for good frankincense essential oil? The Young Living brand is very expensive. Oh, yeah. No. Go buy it at Jade Bloom. Go to jadebloom.com. They have two different kinds. The Cartieri is the more expensive one. I believe it's somewhere around $13, $15 maybe for a 5 ml. Really good quality oil. It's the only one that I buy. And they have one that's a little lower quality, or it's not lower quality, it's a different strain that is a 10 ml bottle that's only, I think, somewhere around $8-10. And it's good too. I bought it before. But the Cartieri, if you really want to go top shelf, that's the one I would buy. And yeah, it's cheap over at Jade Bloom. I mean, that's not cheap, but it's much, much cheaper, and it's fabulous. So, well, guys, we've done it. We've talked down to the end of the show. You can find me here tomorrow with the Psychic Sisters at 11 a.m. Pacific. You'll find me over at 12listen.com for the rest of the day. I want to thank you guys for being here. Have a great Wednesday. Take care of yourselves, and please let me know if I can help you. You're listening to 12 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.